You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
Everybody, hello. How's everybody? Welcome to Power Plug Radio. You are listening to Taboo Talk on Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams. Oh my goodness. Okay. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also find us in the Apple Store, also in the Play Store. And if you want to, you can go to your Alexa and say, "Hey, Alexa, play Power Plug Radio." Thank you for joining us for our live show tonight. So tonight on Taboo Talk, we're going to talk about something that came up a lot during my hiatus when I was out of town. I was in 2 states, and we kind of talked about this before, but I'm going to push back on it only because of the conversations that came up during my time out. I was in Colorado for 2 weeks, and then I was in Cleveland for a week. And both of those states have marijuana laws. Now, in Colorado, it's recreational and medical. And in Cleveland, it is strictly medical. Here's my thing, though. Like, I wanted to talk, and I got two people who can help me with this topic with me right now, too. Even though it was recreational and or medical in these states, and then it's medical here in the state of Florida, you still get the people who turn their nose up to it when you mention it. And I just want to touch on that more so when we talk about the medicinal uses of cannabis, because I've always been very vocal that I use cannabis medicinally for my fibromyalgia. I know people who use it for sleep disorders, people who use it for who are going through some kind of cancer therapy, pain relief. I can go on with all of the different medical uses that cannabis is good for. But what baffles me is why people still turn their noses up to it. So at first, first person that I mentioned it to, and I'm not going to use any names because people may be listening, but the first person that kind of turned their nose up to it was a person who was older. The person was in their 60s. And so my first little thing was, they're old school. They probably still thinking that reefer, back in the day. The reefer, is that better? Okay. They were thinking reefer because, back in the day it was, it was recreational and, you was a budhead, you got high, you wasn't no good, you was sorry, whatever. So, but then the next person who frowned their face up at it was actually in their 20s. So I realized that this negative feeling that people have about marijuana, it doesn't matter what age they are. You got people young, old, in between. They really don't care about it. And I want to touch on that because I'm trying to figure out what is it that causes this negative stigma. This is something, you go back to these herbalists, these naturalist people. This is a natural herb that grows from the ground. All right. God made, right? Am I wrong? God made it.
I mean, you're not wrong, but most of those people, I think it's just lack of knowledge with them.
Okay.
They don't understand, the good use of it, or maybe they had like a bad experience with it.
Okay.
They just turning up their nose, but, and I think that's what it is, like just lack of knowledge and understanding on how it does help people. And plus, people put a bad face on it too.
Even though we're seeing more and more states making it legal.
Yeah, like one commercial where the kids in the drive-through laughing and they the car just smoked out and they're not paying attention. And they about to hit the little girl. That's traumatic. Come on now.
Really? No. Is this a new commercial?
No, that's an old commercial.
Oh, okay.
But that's what I'm talking about, like how they paint the face of it being so bad.
Right.
Yeah, and then you got Cheech and Chong where they doing crazy things.
Yeah, but Cheech and Chong ain't never hurt nobody.
They didn't. That's the thing.
They didn't. They were having fun, and yeah, maybe they went over the top, but they never hurt anybody.
It really doesn't provoke you to do anything crazy.
It mellows you out.
Yeah, so I think that's what we got to put out there more. That it mellows you out.
Right. That's my question. What do we do to help people understand? Because we have medicines that you can get from a doctor with a prescription. Let's talk. Remember Ambien? No, remember Ambien had people doing what they were calling sleep living.
I was gonna say that turned them a little crazy.
They were driving and they were asleep. They were going grocery shopping
in they sleep.
In they sleep. So there was this one man. He got pulled over, and they knew that there was something wrong with him when the police pulled him over, and come to find out that man was in a state of sleepwalk. He took
That's
Ambien.
A deep one then.
It's a very deep one. A friend of my uncle's, get this, went to bed, right? Woke up the next morning and his living room had been painted black.
Girl, that's scary. That ain't.
He found he had done it. He didn't remember going to Home Depot and getting the paint.
Wait a minute. He drove to the store.
He went to the store and got the paint. He started, and half of his living room was painted black.
No.
So you're talking about, you're talking about medicines that a doctor will prescribe to you. So people were doing what they named it sleep living.
Right.
People were acting erratic. There were men or women who were out at bars, very faithfully married people. But they were in a dream state, but they were up and walking.
Girl, they blamed it on the Ambien.
They was blaming it on the Ambien. Hey, that's what Roseanne, remember when she did all them racist tweets and her show got taken off? She said she was on Ambien, and Ambien actually came out and said, all our medicine does is help you sleep. It doesn't make you show that you're a racist. It doesn't make you a racist.
Well, this is true, because Taboo.
But, that's the part that I want to understand is people will be okay with taking medicines that have, them commercials. You could take this medicine for your heart, but you'll have runny stool and your urine will turn green and blah, blah, blah. And they just keep listening, and people go, oh yeah, okay, give it to me.
It's all good, but you turning your nose up at marijuana.
And it's because it's been demonized. What can we do to get people to feel better?
Well, just like, any advertisement, you just have constant good messaging out there about it. And really, I was going to say, set up a campaign.
I mean, honestly, set up a campaign, because I don't think these companies are doing a very good job.
No.
They're just setting up and saying, come buy from us. But
it's not any good messaging out there to let you know, all the good things of marijuana. I don't even know if there's any bad. There is no bad things of marijuana.
I don't think they have to do bad messaging. I think it's still stemming from back in the day when, I remember all of the negative messages around marijuana.
Right.
When I was young, I was under the impression that marijuana was as bad as cocaine. Because of the way they talked about it. Seriously. I mean, because they talked about it like,
reefers.
The reefer and everybody was sneaking around, and it was remember everybody kept it in the tin can.
It was a secret.
It was a secret. And if somebody smelled like reefer, you knew they was a bad person.
It's over for you.
But here's the thing that I feel that these prejudices are hindrances that they're causing. Okay. Me, as somebody who uses THC as medicine to help me manage my pain.
Right.
I have a medical marijuana card here in the state of Florida. But when I traveled to Colorado and when I traveled to Cleveland, I could not take my medical marijuana with me on the plane. But I also, now when I was in Colorado, I could go buy on the recreational side, but I could not buy on the medical side. But even if I bought stuff in Colorado, when I got on the plane to leave from Colorado to go to Cleveland, I couldn't take it with me. When I got to Cleveland, I couldn't buy anything even on the medical side because they would not accept my Florida medical card.
Yeah, that's how it was in Cali.
Yeah.
They don't accept it.
There's very few states that will allow you to cross over state lines and use your medical card.
Same thing with Denver.
Right.
Same thing.
So here's the thing. Because of people's negative beliefs and feelings, we can't get it federally. We can't get a federal law passed. Because of that, it causes a hindrance. So for me, like I said, I suffer from fibromyalgia. I usually, after stressful weather, and it doesn't have to be bad stress, good stress. I was in Colorado for my son's wedding. I was running back and forth to the airport, picking people up. We were trying to get everything done. I was busy. But I also know that usually after a situation like that, my body will shut down on me and I will have what is called a flare up. Yeah. The medical marijuana helps me maintain that flare up. Yeah. I didn't have it.
Yeah, because they wouldn't.
I couldn't carry it across state lines. Yeah. So by the time I made it to Cleveland, about 3 days in, I started feeling it. Yeah. And at that point, there's really not much that can help me maintain the pain, including the medication that the doctor gives me. Mm-hmm. But the medical marijuana will help me. But I didn't have it.
Right. See? So that's why you get like people going crazy because they can't get their medicine.
They can't get their medicine. So I and it didn't really dawn on me until this incident happened to me over last week. Mm-hmm. My flare up was bad enough that I couldn't even get on a plane. Wow. I was having a severe flare, and I had to postpone my flight home. Mm-hmm. But now, am I saying that smoking a joint would have made me perfect? No.
But it would have been bearable for you to do what you need.
It would have been bearable, and it would have allowed me to, in my opinion, based off of what I've known in the past, recoup quicker. Yeah. You know, so I know that it was demonized back in the day, but how, I guess and I know we can't solve all the world's problems around marijuana today.
Everybody needs to smoke.
Everybody needs, So I also realized that in using my medical marijuana, it does help me with other things. Mm-hmm. It has helped me with my anxiety. Yeah. It has helped me with my sleep. Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. Look, you want to get some good sleep?
Yeah. Get you a good old indica.
Okay. Good look. And I did a gummy. And I did the gummy, I chewed the gummy, and I ate something, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch, and I don't even remember thinking TV. But I remember, for me, my sleep pattern is interrupted a lot because when I move, when you move into bed and so, pain happens, and when the pain happens, it wakes me up, so it interrupts my sleep. But not only does the indica gummies or the indica joint keeps the pain level down, it allows me to go into an extremely deep sleep to allow my body to heal.
So so sleeping, heals your body.
It does.
You guys didn't know that.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of sick people sleep.
Yes. Yeah. It's that that coma you hear about. Comas aren't always the most positive thing, but you will hear how they'll put people into a medically induced coma because in that state it helps their body to heal faster.
Yeah, and it's resting and it's letting it do what it does.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not up running around, whipping, running. Doing stuff. You relax.
Pain is stressful, y'all, and if you can be in that coma and you're not feeling those things, you're right. You're relaxed and you're able to heal. Right. And then you have people who are suffering from cancer. Right. And we all know that most people who are suffering from cancer, they're either they're suffering from the pain of the cancer, or they are suffering from the after effects of the chemotherapy.
Really tear them down, tear their body down.
Yeah, because chemotherapy is basically poison. Yeah, it's a poison they put in your body to kill the cancer. Yeah, but we know medically that marijuana not only helps with the pain of the cancer, it helps with the nausea from the chemotherapy.
Yeah. It does help with
it helps with the nausea from the chemotherapy.
And it also helps with appetite too, to feel that appetite.
Right, because many people who are going through certain medical conditions, they don't eat. And I go through those moments where if you're in pain, you don't think about food.
Yeah, you're not hungry, you just want to lay there.
So that's when the munchies are good.
Right, that helps. That helps. But one moment, people, we're going on a quick music break. This is Power Plug Radio, and we'll be right back soon.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
Double up, yo. Uptown, official. You ain't know? Yeah. What the deal? I wanna know, is this love for real? Or could it be lust that I feel? You got it going on and on like a wheel. Fly sex appeal, physique extra ill. Smell sweet, dressed to kill. You got me open like a token, hot and smoking. Jacuzzi, bubble bath, laughing, joking. Candlelight, talking about how you and your ex-man fight. Tropical sight, be sand white. Listen, seafood dishes, wine cooler, champagne wishes. Waterbed head, fine dude with some riches. You're lovable, huggable. I love the cute mugging. As long as I'm around and down, nothing could ever trouble you.
I want your body.
Say what?
The way you touch me.
That's right.
Driving in your caddy. You can be my big daddy.
Yeah.
Take it slowly.
I feel you.
Have it home. Driving in your caddy. You can be my big daddy.
My mahogany dime, I spend quality time. Cute face, haircut, like the Halle design. Keep my dear laced up with fly gear and makeup. But you should see her when she wake up. Never could we break up. Shop till you drop, cause the cream don't stop. Buy a bunch of outfits that's sexy and hot, so she could look good for Hep D. Overweight, loving MC. Rub you gently, you know the Steve, big CEO, sex OT. Mac game, similar next to Goldie Flex. You might feel, man, creeping through your room late at night. It's hell, or water better instead, so get it right. You be like, damn, it's that big man we all love to like. That's right. Game airtight, while you caught up in the hype. That's right. Hep jiggy, niggy be jiggy. Baby, you ready for Big Daddy?
I want your body.
Say what?
The way you touch
Here we go,
me.
mama.
Driving in your caddy.
That's right.
You
That's
can be my big daddy. Take it slowly.
Talk to me.
Have it home. Driving in your caddy. You can be my big daddy.
You on my mind like all the time. You genuine and you fine. Vision you like dollar sign. Booby all that and then some. Job all that. Mad income. And New York is where she represent from. 24/7. You the one that I be sweating. You a dime, that's no question. Couldn't be nothing less than. Sexually, the best next to me. I confess you got me hooked on like phonics. Or we heads on chronic. Now sip you ready. You give them more like Demi. Good and plenty. Nothing could compare to you. Boo, I swear to you. I feel for you. For real for you. All I wanna do is be with you. Might even steal for you. You walk like, you talk like, you sexy. When you kiss me, you bless me, undress me, caress me. You on my mind like all the time. You genuine and you fine. Vision you like dollar sign. Yeah, yeah.
I want your body.
Say what?
The way you touch me.
Talk to me,
Driving
baby.
in your caddy. You can be my big
Sex
daddy.
it up, y'all. Sex
Take
it
it
up.
slowly.
Say what?
Have it home.
Talk to me, baby.
Driving in your caddy.
That's right.
You can
That
be
biggie,
my big daddy. I want your body.
Ladies,
The way you
yeah.
touch
Hold the
me.
ladies.
Driving in your caddy.
Hold the ladies.
You can be my
Love
big
ya.
daddy.
Big y'all.
Take
Don't
it
stop it, y'all.
slowly.
Body rock, y'all.
Have it home. Driving in your caddy. You can be my big daddy.
Big daddy.
I want your body.
Big Daddy.
The way you
That biggie.
touch me. Driving in your caddy. You can be my big daddy.
Oh yeah, I'm with this. I'm just gonna sit here laid back to this nice mellow beat, you know, and drop some smooth lyrics. Cause it's 88, time to set it straight, you know what I'm saying? And there ain't no half stepping. Word, I'm ready.
Rappers stepping to me, they wanna get some, but I'm the Kane, so yo, you know the outcome. Another victory, they can't get with me. So pick a BC date, cause you're history. I'm the authentic poet to get lyrical. For you to beat me, it's gonna take a miracle. And stepping to me, yo, that's a wrong move. So what you on, Hobbs? Dope or dog food? Competition, I just devour. Like a pit bull against a chihuahua. Cause when it comes to being dope, hot damn, I got it good. Now let me tell you who I am. The B-I-G-D-A-D-D-Y-K-A-N-E. Dramatic, Asiatic, not like many. I'm different, so don't compare me to another. Cause they can't hang, word to the mother. At least not with the principal in this pedigree. So when I roll on your rappers, you better be ready to die because you're petty. You're just a butter knife, I'm a machete. Displayed by Ginsu, wait until when you try to front so I can chop into your body. Just because you try to be basing, Friday the 13th, I'ma play Jason. No type of joke, gag, game, puzzle, or riddle. The name is Big Daddy, yes, big, not little, so define it. Here's your walking papers, sign it, and take a walk as the Canes start to talk, cause ain't no half-stepping. I'm the Big Daddy King. Ain't no half-stepping. I'm the Big Daddy King. Ain't no half-stepping. I'm the Big Daddy King. My rhymes are so doping, the rappers be hoping to sound like me so soon I'll have to open a school of MCing for those who wanna be in my field in court. Then again on second thought, the half-MCs coming out sounding so similar. It's quite confusing for you to remember the originator. And boy do I hate a perpetrator, but I'm much greater. The best, so yes, I guess suggest the rest should fest, don't mess or test your highness, unless you just address with best finesse and bless the paragraphs I manifest. Rap prime minister, some say sinister, non-stop in the groove until when it's the climax. Climax, relax and chill, have a break from a take of me acting ill. Brain cells are lit, ideas start to hit. Next the formation of words that fit. At the table I sit, making it legit, and when my pen hits the paper, oh shit, I stop and stand strong over MCs and devour with the power of Hercules or Samson. But I go further to left, cause you can scout my cameo and I still have strength. And no, that's not a myth, and if you try to rip or get whipped, the man with the given gift of gab, your vocab, I'll only ignore. Be sleeping on your rhymes till I start to snore. You can't awake me or even make me fear your son, cause you can't do me none. So think about it if you're trying to go. When you wanna step to me, I think you should know that ain't no half-stepping. I'm the Big Daddy King. Ain't no half-stepping. I'm the Big Daddy King. Ain't no half-stepping. I'm the Big Daddy King. I appear right here and scare and dare a mere musketeer that would dare to compare. Put him in the rear, back there where he can't see clear. Get a beer idea or near steer. Yeah, sworn to be, wanna be competition. Trying to step to me, must be on a mission. Up on the stage is where I'ma get you at. You think I'm losing? Picture that. No half-stepping. Ain't no half-stepping. Ain't no half-stepping. Ain't no half-stepping. Mr. C, step to me. You know, as in your father. So when you hear a death rhyme, believe that I'm the author. I grab the mic and make them C's evaporate. The party people say, damn, that rapper's great. The creator, conductor of poetry, etc., etc. It ain't easy being me. I speak clearly so you can understand. Put words together like letter man. Now that's dictation. Proceeding to my innovation. Not like the other MCs that are an imitation or an animation, a cartoon to me. But when I'm finished, I'm sure that you are soon to see reality. My secret technique, because I always speak with mentality. I put my title in your face, dare you to base it. If you try to come get it, yo, I'ma show you who's with it. So if you know like I know, instead of messing around, play like Roy Rogers and slow down. Just give yourself a break, or someone else will take your title. Namely me, because I'm homicidal. That means murder. You sound like the herder, another MC. They try to get with me, I'll just break them and make them and rake them and take them and mold them and make them hold up the peace sign. Assalamu alaikum.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to Taboo Talk on Power Plug Radio. Welcome back after our brief music break. Just to get you a heads up on what we're talking about today, we are talking about the stigma around medical marijuana. As we know that in many states in the United States, marijuana is becoming legal, but because we can't get it passed federally, it is a state by state issue. So some states are recreational, some states are medical and recreational, and then some states are medical only. Most states who are medical only eventually transition over to both recreational and medical, but you hardly ever see them happen at the same time. And we were talking before we left for our music break about how it causes a hindrance for people who actually use marijuana as a real and legitimate way to maintain their illness, regardless of what the illness is. It makes it hard with it not being a federal law. So my big thing is, how do we change the mindsets? Because I really think that before we can get laws passed, we have to change the mindset of the people. Because what happens is more and more people will go and vote. And there have been many states who tried to get even just medical marijuana passed, and it was voted down, mostly because of the negative beliefs and the biases that people have against what my grandparents used to call reefer. And so the devil's drug, which, I found out a history. I have this show that I love called Adam Ruins Everything. He basically, what he does is he picks a topic, and the what we think is true, he actually breaks it down and shows us, no, that's not really what happened. That's not really what's true. So I first heard about Adam Ruins Everything when he broke down engagement rings and diamonds. And, because, with engagement rings and diamonds, we always thought that the engagement ring, you buy that big, pretty diamond and they put it on your left finger. And, that's been a tradition that's been around forever. Actually, the diamond engagement ring did not come into existence until the early 1900s.
Yeah, because I do recall hearing something like that. They didn't have that.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing. De Beers Diamonds said, you know what? How can we make some more money?
Right.
So they did two things. One, they took a whole bunch of diamonds, because honestly, if you look at a diamond in a natural cubic zirconia, there's not much of a difference. Right. But in our minds, diamonds are so much more expensive. But when you look at them at a base scientific level, they're very similar. The only reason why we believe that diamonds are so much more elegant and better than a cubic zirconia is because the Beers made us think so. Like that, yeah. So what they did for a very long time is they took the diamonds and they put them away, and then they said, oh, we have a shortage. And the minute they created the shortage, so then once they created the shortage, what did they do? They started putting out advertisements saying diamonds are forever. And back then it was a paycheck. The thing was, you should spend 1 week's pay on a diamond for your loved one. Before then, there was no such thing as an engagement ring. You got engaged, and when you got married, they put the wedding band on your finger, and that was it. It was
just a wedding band.
It was just a wedding band.
You see, just wedding bands on some people.
And if you look at photographs from from any time, I believe it was before 1922, you're not gonna see engagement rings, because that campaign by De Beers Diamonds did not come out until the 1920s. So when he first said that, I was like, he don't know what he's talking about, and I researched it, and he was spot on.
Yeah, because just think about Marilyn Monroe, the diamonds.
Diamonds are diamonds are forever. Diamonds are girl best friend.
20s and 30s.
Yep,
and all of that hype right there.
And then you started seeing Breakfast at Tiffany's with Audrey Hepburn, and then the Stones got bigger and everything. So when I realized that Adam kind of knew what he was talking about, he did a whole episode on marijuana. And in the episode he did on marijuana, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna make it really quick. Was he basically was saying how it was coming to the end of prohibition, and during prohibition, there were certain departments that were created by the government to fight, people who were trying to bootleg alcohol, because alcohol was illegal. When they realized that alcohol was getting ready to be legal again, that means it was going to be a whole bunch of people out of work. And so the man who was over, which is now the drug and alcohol, whoever it is that regulates BBC, alcohol, tobacco, them. So before it was named whatever it is now,
how was that be?
he realized, oh crap, if they make liquor legal again, we all gonna be out of a job. So he said, okay, what can I make the government think is bad. And he was like, well, back in then everybody smoked reefer, but it came up out of Mexico, and a lot of Mexicans smoked it. So he realized that if he could demonize marijuana, that he would keep his job, because they would have something to fight after alcohol became legal again. So he demonized reefer as something that makes you go crazy. It makes you crazy, loopy. You don't think right. You make bad decisions. And the big thing, because think about when we're talking the end of the 30s going into the 40s. A whole bunch of white men in Congress and in the Senate, and he went in there and he said, you know, those Mexicans, they smoke that reefer and it's gonna make them go after your women. Yep. And the next thing you knew, marijuana was this horrible drug that caused brain damage and caused this. And from the 1940s until now, they have been demonizing weed to make people think it's just as bad as cocaine, just as bad as heroin.
You know what I'm saying? To get that stigma out of there.
Right. And then they tell, it's a gateway drug. So if you smoke weed, you're going to start snorting coke. No.
Well, that's the thing. I'm here to attest to that. No. I don't have desire to get any higher or do anything else. You know what I mean?
Especially if you're doing it. I mean, and I have friends who, look, my daddy gone, so I can say this. My daddy used to have the tin cookie jar, the can, and I remember my daddy would have his reefer in there. And back then, that's when you would have to pick it because the seeds would still be in it. And my dad smoked it. My dad ain't never do nothing crazy. You know, I knew a lot of people who smoked it. They didn't go out and rape people, and the most they went and did is spend too much money at McDonald's on food.
Yeah, that's really it. I mean, hell, I feel as though I'm not trying to go to another drug. I like to try the different strands of marijuana. And
now that it is legal, and now that they can scientifically sit back and figure out, because when I first started, and we talked about this, I didn't know that there was a sativa and an indica. I just thought weed make you mellow. That's what I thought. But then when they were breaking it down to me and telling me, no, the sativa does X, Y, Z, and then the indica does this. I mean, the possibilities that will allow us to heal. But see, here's my thing. I think it's the pharmaceutical companies. They don't want this. They don't want us using marijuana. Why? Because if I'm using marijuana, I'm not taking gabapentin.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's taking out their pocket.
Yep.
There.
There's so many medicines that I'm on because of my fibromyalgia. The whole reason why I decided to start with the medical marijuana was so that I could get myself off of the other drugs, because the other drugs have so many side effects.
And you don't need to be scared for no marijuana now. These drugs that they prescribing,
that's what you need to be afraid of.
Right.
You know, they have me on a medicine. They have me on a medicine right now that I am not allowed to stop taking without doctor supervision, because I have to wean. I can't just stop. And and they told me even with the doctor's supervision, it could take up to a year to wean me off of a medicine that is supposed to be helping me with pain.
Right. See? With pain. Woo.
I mean, come on. I don't even want to think about what else it's doing to my body, and it's but it's supposed to be helping me with the pain. So we got a young person here. She over there playing. Oh, what you over there doing? Tell me what you think. So tell me what you think about from your age perspective. What can we do to help people feel like marijuana is good? It's something that can help people, heal people, make people better.
Like you said, better advertising. Getting more younger people to vouch for it.
Okay.
The true people that actually smoke, not just some random 20-year-old,
right,
21-year-old that got they biased feelings about it because they're parents or whatever. But people that actually use it every day, they'll say it's really good for them, because a person that uses for anxiety. Mm-hmm. It helps a lot, and I feel like I can't go a day without it.
Okay.
Because it helps me that much.
So would you say it's helped you normalize your day so you can function?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
better than doing it on my own.
Right.
Or having to take
a mood altering.
Yeah.
I've dealt with taking some of the antidepressants and things like that.
Me too.
And they don't, but you know what I felt like? I just felt like,
yeah. Okay.
I didn't feel, I mean, that's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
It didn't give me, it just kind of it didn't suppress.
It made me a brick wall.
Yes.
That's the only way I can describe it.
I could have seen somebody get hit
and I didn't
in
have
front
no
of me
reaction.
and I wouldn't have had any emotion, no reaction.
I didn't like that. Because when people would talk to me, I'll be like, I don't feel like this. It's the medicine making me feel like this. Like somebody will tell me good news and I'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah. And I don't need to have that reaction.
This joy. It's such, I don't need for it to suck my joy away. And that's what it felt like. I needed
to take the sadness away, but everything else needs to stay, and that's what it doesn't do. It keeps everything blocked out and just make you a being.
Right. No I had no emotions. Yeah. I mean, literally, I used to say all the time, if I saw somebody get hit by a car in front of me, I'd have been like,
yeah.
I mean, none whatsoever. And I remember
all the emotion,
all of it. And I remember the guy who I was dating at the time. I guess something happened, and I guess whatever. I don't even remember what it was, but I was non-emotional. Yeah. And I remember he told me that night. He said, "I don't like you like this. When you're taking this medicine, I don't like you. You are not you."
Yeah.
No one's ever told me that because I popped a THC gummy. Yeah. They've never said that to me. So marketing, what do you think that it's a message that needs to come from the government? Is it a message that needs to come from grassroots efforts? Is it because they're gonna look if it's somebody who's constantly smoking weed, they're gonna go, "Oh, you just trying to get it so your weed can be cheaper," or
right. If it come from the government, it's always gonna look bad.
I think so too.
No matter like what they do, it's always gonna be a bad message attached to it because it is a Class A drug, I think.
Yes.
So it's always gonna have some negative effect on the body. That's what they're gonna say. But I mean, truly, honestly, I don't feel any negative effect. The only negative effect is the withdrawals. But me personally, I don't think I'll ever give myself a tolerance break because I don't believe in tolerance breaks.
Okay.
But yeah, the only bad thing about it is if you stop, you're gonna go through withdrawals.
But that's with anything. I went through withdrawal when I stopped drinking Coca-Cola.
Right,
so
that's what you're gonna get withdrawals from anything.
Yeah.
So the government saying you could feel like this, and this afterwards. I mean, yeah, but that's with anything.
Right. And it's honestly, I would rather go through the possible withdrawals from THC, which can't be anything like what people go through who are addicted to Percocet or so, I have a feeling about that. That's still a negative thing that they're trying to do to be able to control it. Because something that I found out about 3 years ago was that before we started having marijuana made legal in different states, the United States government would ship out marijuana to people with certain medical conditions. Yeah. So it was a way for them to make money off of something that they demonized and made illegal.
Yeah, and also I really want to talk about how Delta 8 is coming along. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how I feel about it because one, I know Delta 8 is a compound.
Explain. I was about to say, explain to everyone what Delta 8 is for those who don't know. What
I was taught is Delta 8 is a compound within THC that doesn't give you really that psychedelic feel when you smoke weed. Okay. So you'll be high, but you won't feel all like space in the head. Okay. So that's what Delta 8 is. Now it's in the smoke shops now. Okay. And to be honest, as a regular weed smoker, it is a difference. It is. But I can say it still has that space feeling in your head. Okay. So I don't really know the direction they're going in. Okay. They might as well just put weed in the smoke shops. Instead of trying to put CBD, Delta 8 and all this other stuff, just put the weed in the smoke shops and then let everybody go in jail.
to what I was gonna ask though, what's the difference between the Delta 8 and the CBD?
I don't know.
Because CBD is supposedly, I mean, I know that with CBD oils, the CBD part of medical marijuana or marijuana period is the part that helps with the inflammation and swelling and all of that.
But that's what I think the Delta 8 is for. If they say you don't get that spacey feeling in your head, that's what CBD does as well. You don't get that. Right. So what is Delta 8? And then you question, so what is CBD?
So I think it's just a new marketing tool. Right. It's just another way for them to make some money.
I just think they keep breaking it down. They keep taking weed and trying to break it down as best as possible to allow everybody to enjoy it. But that real weed is what you get from the government. I don't know how to explain it.
I know, but I know what you mean. I get it.
Like, how much are they gonna break it down?
Because they're gonna do whatever they can to make as much money as they possibly can.
Like, why do all this? Just legalize it. And if you see yourself, if the government see itself that, oh, okay, we can use this as medicine, and then people can use it as recreational, and then we can make money off it, and other people can make money off it. That's a working economy. Just let it be.
Let it be.
Just why are you even trying to take people to jail and do all this other stuff just for that?
I believe it's one of my belief systems is that they lose control. Right. Because they're if you look at the number of smoke shops that there are, but then also let's look at the number of dispensaries, and then you also have to take into consideration the growers. Yeah. How many are people of color?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Like 6%.
Like 6, yeah.
They want to keep that as low as possible.
Well, at the end of the day, I think everything is rooted to racism, so they just need to let it go.
Yeah, well, they don't.
Like,
I agree.
We're the ones that can thrive, and if they allow us just to, I just feel like Black people will bring so much more to the economy, especially with marijuana, because how can I explain it? Black people go through pain way more than a white person.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like if we were able to use it, how can I say it?
If we were able to, tell me if I'm saying this right. If it was more readily available, and people of color were able to use it without the stigma, then it would give us that leg up to be able to be more for some people be more creative.
And find more ways to use it than the average person than what they're doing right now.
Right. But then think about, and what you said when it comes to boosting the economy, it's like the young lady who came out with all of the different spaghetti sauces that had a THC base to them. Yeah. That woman just created those spaghetti sauces that actually taste very good. They have a THC base to them. She is not only making money, she is stimulating the economy.
Yeah, and it's so, like, why don't they want that?
Because the wrong people will have control. That's what it boils down to in the very end, is that the wrong people will have control. You know, and in an ideal world, that would be perfect. If they would just let everyone go, in the end result, if we all were allowed to thrive in the manner that we need to. And for those of us, and it's not just people of color, yes, we do suffer more. And because we have to deal with institutionalized racism, I mean, everything we deal with is it curves back to race. You know, whether a woman is able to carry a baby full term, you know, the fact that
if she's going to get proper health care,
the fact that a Black male will get arrested for the same thing as a white male and get 3 times more the charges, you know. So we have always, just because of the color of our skin, we are born with a mark, and you can say 1 mark, 2 marks, 10 marks against us. If we had something that allowed us to mellow out, to be able to deal with the constant bombardment of negative, of racism, of classism, for us, for women, sexism, you know, Black women, look, we Black, and, you know, and we're women, you know, I think that they're afraid, because what would we become? And not everyone needs to smoke weed to become that, but imagine a world where we could actually grow to our potential. That is a scary thought. Not for us, for them.
For them, yeah.
For them. So, you know, I hope that maybe we can start putting a positive look on marijuana. You know, I mean, I'll be honest.
Oh, this just popped in my head.
Uh-huh.
Also, I think it has a lot to do with the music industry as well.
Yeah.
Because everyone in the music industry smokes weed. Not everyone, but
a lot.
Majority of the men.
Yeah.
And
some of the women.
right now, how they're promoting other drugs, meaning like lean and all that other stuff, Xanax, all that. Mm-hmm. They need to like do the same with weed, but make it on a more positive note. Like I know for sure Wiz Khalifa, he sings and writes about smoking weed and the positive effects, but he also throws in there like a like, you know, you can smoke weed but also get your stuff done. You know, if you do too much, this how you gonna feel. Like he also takes what like all the bad things and try to make it seem like it's not that bad, but it's still, you know, watch out for it.
But you have to, everything needs to be done in moderation.
Yeah, and I think it's people's fear.
Yeah.
Of okay, say if somebody had this situation with weed, they'll tell it. Somebody might be scared of that. Mm-hmm. So it's fear based that's keeping them away and making people keep telling other people bad stuff about weed. Because I'm gonna give you
an example. When I did that first show, we did the 2-part show and talked about weed. I got phone calls after the show saying, "Girl, why are you telling people you got a medical marijuana card? You shouldn't be. It's legal. You know, it's not like I'm telling y'all, hey y'all, I'm standing down on the corner of 18th Avenue. But I was like, why should I hide it? Right. You know, I don't. If you want to think bad of me because I have a legal card, I went to a doctor and I have a prescription. Yeah. You know, but I got about 3 phone calls saying, oh well, maybe you shouldn't say.
Yeah, and then also what I learned is like people are afraid of like, you know, judgment.
Yes.
Or, you know, that what did I call it? Public validation. Mm-hmm. Just because you smoke weed doesn't mean like you're out here just doing bad.
Right.
Like you're not out here jacking cars. Like
I'm in the house. Or if they don't think you jacking cars, then they think you on a sofa high, just sitting there looking at the, you know, contemplating the watch your mouth, and you looking at the 3 dots up on the ceiling. You know,
in the bag.
But mind you, I know some people that work better when they're high. Like that gives them their focus and allows them to keep going throughout the day. Like I know a lot of people, they have to smoke sativas during the day to keep going because they need that feeling of that relaxation, but also that focus to keep them on track.
And that's when one of the things, like I said, I didn't know the difference, but I didn't even know there was an indica sativa kind of thing. So when the gentleman first explained sativa to me, I was sitting there like, because, you know, I always thought, you know, you smoke weed, you just gonna sink into the couch and you're gonna be chill and can't really do nothing. And so I was a little nervous about taking a sativa the first time. And the first time I think the relaxed part of it hit me, but that was my first time ever doing it. So then after that, when I would take the sativa, especially, let me tell you when I realized sativa was gonna help me during the pandemic, because working from home, being home all the freaking time. So you started feeling like I started feeling like I was in this box and I couldn't get anything done. But when I would take the sativa, it gave me that clarity that allowed me to say, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that, and allowed me to keep focused. So it helped me understand better where at night when I needed to chill out, when I needed to come down and relax and my nerves were on end, I would take the indica. And the indica is what would calm me down. It would calm me down. I get hungry, I eat something, and then I chill out and watch TV and never make it through my show. But I'll tell you what happened. When I woke up the next morning, I felt good because I got good sleep. You know, and if not anything, Black women, I found out that more Black women suffer from insomnia than anyone else. because our minds never stop. We can't stop thinking about what we have to do next as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister, you know, as whatever we are, because we are all things. Our minds never stop. So you see a much higher number of Black women who suffer from insomnia. And if you're not sleeping, your body is not healing itself. And if it's not healing itself, you're not healthy. So you won't be able to continue to do the things you need to do. Look, cut a gummy in half, take that bad boy and go to sleep. It's like, because you're gonna wake up in the morning like, okay, rejuvenated. Right. At first you're gonna be like, I slept, the sun is up, I slept through the night. And then you're gonna be like, oh, wait a minute, I feel different, my energy level is different, my, you know. And then the good thing about it is I realize that when I'm having really tense times, I tend to take my indica every day. When I do that, my body starts to get on a schedule.
I'm on a schedule.
I'm on a schedule. So my body starts to shut down at a certain time. And then I go to sleep. And then I'm waking up, and I can find myself waking up early in the morning, having more energy, ready to go, you know, refreshed. So, you know, I really would love to work with anyone out there who wants to start to put a positive spin on the use of marijuana, not just medically for people who need it for medical conditions, but for everybody. It's not what we were taught it was.
And then I've seen something. People were, you know, saying like, okay, well, you know, it's from the earth, but people smoke it out of like tobacco leaves or the tobacco wraps and stuff like that. I mean, it's a preference. People like papers. People like to do it straight out of a bong with just the flour in the bowl.
In the water,
people just like to mix it.
Hey, y'all can make me some brownies.
Yeah, you can do it anyway.
Yeah.
I personally like the smoking way because it just gets to me faster and I get to control it. With edibles and stuff, I don't like that because I can't control my high, but that's just a mind thing.
For me, and see, I'm the opposite. I would prefer the edibles because I like the fact that the edibles slowly come up to me. I feel that it's coming. I can prepare myself and then it slowly declines. So for me, I like the edibles better. Now, will I smoke flower from time to time? I do, but I do prefer edibles. I really do. Yeah. So like for real, everybody, anybody who wants to start thinking about how we could put a positive spin on medical marijuana, please let me know. I would love to participate.
I think people would like to see more women speak positive about it because, to be honest, growing up, seeing women smoke, I was like, why is she smoking?
Because it was supposed to be a man thing.
Right. So I think if more Black women come forward and just be comfortable in their own skin with smoking and be able to put out those positive messages, kids that's growing up won't think bad of it.
Right.
Anybody that's coming up that's starting to learn and figure out weed, they won't
think bad of it. I think that they would have they would feel more ease with it. Also, I think that not only do we need to come out and show that it's nothing wrong with us smoking it, it's also nothing wrong with us being a part of the medical marijuana industry, whether it is that we own a smoke shop or a dispensary, or even if we own as Black women or women of color a growing warehouse. Why shouldn't we? Right. I mean, come on, for real. Yeah. I think we put the right Black chemistry minds together. We could come up with some damage strands. And that's what they're scared of. I think that's what they're scared of because it'll put them out of business.
Yeah, because I just feel like Black people, they find at the end of the day, it's all these, medicines and all this, but I just truly feel at the end of the day we will find the holistic way for it, and then
because that's where we came from.
Once we find it, we're gonna turn it into so many things to help everybody in different ways.
Yes,
whether it's taking something topical, whatever, we're gonna find something to help somebody in the method they prefer.
Because I before we end the show, my friend, he knows the pain that I'm in from my fibromyalgia, and he got me a THC CBD ointment.
Oh wow.
And he will rub that on my knees, and when I tell you I can feel the pain subsiding just from him using this topical ointment. And no, I don't walk around smelling like a joint. It has a very good smell to it, but the things that we could do, and I agree with you, I think that they would be afraid of it, but we came from where we took from the land to heal our bodies. Yeah. So, I do agree with you. I think that that's what we need to get back to. I think we need to have more, not only Black owned, but female Black owned dispensaries and groweries. And I think we need to start having real conversations around the true benefit, medicinally, but also financially, of the marijuana industry. Because these people out here making bank, and you still got people who were selling the weed on the corner to make ends meet that y'all ain't letting out of jail, and now y'all legally selling it in a store.
And then on Central, real quick before we leave, on Central is actually a weed bus.
Really?
I forgot what it was called, but it's
so what they drive around?
It's right next to Enigma. It's a bus that be in front of Enigma in the place. I think it's like I don't know if it's a dispensary. I think it's just a place that has weed stuff in it.
Wow.
But I can't remember. But yeah, they got a bus.
That's that weed right now.
Yeah.
And that's what they used to say. They used to tell you it mess up your memory. It does not.
Mind you, 2 blocks over is the police station. So it's just like these people can drive a bus. And then I seen one of those RV vans. I seen that where people can actually walk on there, and I'm pretty sure they have the strands all in there. You can pick and buy.
They have something similar that I saw in Colorado too. That it was kind of like a RV, like a party bus kind of, and it would go from. You know how we have people, we set up tents and sell out. They would go from place to place to go to neighborhood, markets and stuff to sell this stuff. And they got enough to
lock them up for years, because they putting Black people in jail for a gram. They putting you in jail for 12 years for a gram.
Yep.
A gram is a joint.
Yep.
That's it.
But it doesn't matter. But we're going to continue to talk about this. I know that this is going to be a topic that we're going to constantly come back to because it's an ever-growing topic. I want to say thank you, everyone, for listening to us tonight. You are listening to Taboo Talk, and I am the African Queen. You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.